G'day guys, it's Kane Hooper here. This is the fourth video on the subject of study and university results, and this video is on exam preparation. It's the last one I'll be doing. This has been a very ad hoc sort of throw together just to help some people out who had requested it. Exam wise, that's my area that I do very, very well. Out of 6 units, the results I've got is 100%, 100%, 99%, 98%, 96%, and then I got one which is 82%. But take away the last one, generally speaking, I've done very well on exams. There's an approach that I take to studying for exams which I don't really know anyone else who does it. It's bloody hard work, but it works. So if you're willing to work your butt off to get extraordinarily high results, this is how you could do it. It's certainly how I do it that works well for me. Alright, so let me just go here. Now each week, so let me start here. There's a program I use here called Quizlet, which basically is a flashcards website. And you know, everyone knows what flashcards are, and some people do them, but not many. Now, flashcards are good, but if you know how to apply this tool correctly, they can be very, very good. So the first thing I do is each week I create flashcards based on the chapter and the lecture notes that I just studied. So here we're in the week 2, so I've got 2 lots of notes. So let's just take, okay, we'll take accounting, topic 1. And you'll see I've got 37 terms. I usually try to keep it around about 30, otherwise it can get quite big. And what I put in is the key definitions, so what is the definition of accounting, the 2 different types of accounting, and then based on the lecture and the key points presented by the unit chair, I basically put in, like, let's say here, what are the 7 key accounting measurement concepts and principles? Whether you know that or not doesn't matter, but that's a key point of accounting. So I basically listed those 7 points out. Then for those 7 points, I've gone, so the first one here was the entity concept, and then I went, what is the entity concept? And then what it is. And I go down, and basically I'm putting all the key information that I need to know into these flashcards. Now, once I've done that, I actually start using the flashcards. But importantly, I need to make sure I actually understand what these definitions and concepts are. And if I don't, as per an earlier video, I use YouTube, I use Google, I use the discussion board to make sure I actually understand it. You cannot rote learn this stuff if you do not understand the meaning and the concept of it. Otherwise, it's completely useless. The purpose of university is to increase your abilities so you can use that information in the real world to, or in business certainly, to create better results, to expand businesses, to do your job better. It is not to get a piece of paper to get a better job. Oh, yeah, sure, I know a lot of people do it, and that's fine in itself, but if you don't come to university to understand information, to apply it, to improve the conditions of your business and so on, it is a completely wasted piece of paper. Anyhow, that's just my viewpoint. Anyhow, that said, now once I've basically taken and entered in all these terms from the beginning of the trimester and a couple of times a week, I go through the flashcards. Now, there's a trick to using flashcards to make sure you do it correctly. The great thing about this system, if I turn my sound on, is the computer...
Accounting is defined. What is the definition of accounting?
Yeah, you see it gives you it verbally, which is great. So there's a way to do flashcards right, and there's 100 ways to do it wrong. So basically what I do is I get the first flashcard, and it's what is the definition of accounting. Now I go, okay, and I do this out aloud as well. So I'll go, all right, the definition of accounting is it's a practice, the blah, 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 blah. Then I flip it.
Accounting is defined as the process of identifying, measuring, recording, and communicating.
So I give the definition, I check it, Now, if my definition was pretty much the same concept, great, I move on to the next one. If it was incorrect, I go back and I do it again. And I flip, and it might take me 4, 5, or 6 times until I get it right. But you cannot use flashcards where you go, what is the definition of accounting? You give it, you check, you're wrong, and move on to the next one. That does not work. Because all that does is it drills in inaccuracies. What you have to do is you have to keep working on that particular flashcard until you can give the answer fast and correctly without having to think about it. When you do that, that's a concept that you have assimilated as part of your understanding. Now, so that's what you do per item. So you start with what is the definition of accounting. I might do that 5 or 6 times until I really understand it. Then I move, what is financial accounting? The first time you'll be like, I don't know. You flip, you check, you go back, and you do it again. Now, the other thing when you're doing flashcards is if you don't immediately know the answer, do not sit there and go and try and think of the answer. All that does is it sets up mental, I suppose, little circuitry where you're trying to think of something, and it actually prevents you from remembering later on, because you're setting up basically a little sort of circuitry in your mind, which is like this search mechanism. It's not assimilating the data. What you need to do, if you go, what is financial accounting? I don't know. Flip straight away. Read it. Financial accounting provides information for external decision makers, such as outside investors and lenders. Okay, flip back. What is financial accounting? Financial accounting is, okay, don't remember. Flip again. Financial accounting provides information for external decision makers, such as outside investors and lenders. Okay, what is financial accounting? Financial accounting provides information to, and you keep doing that, flip, 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 until you can do it without thinking. The more you think about it, the less you will assimilate the information. That's an extraordinarily key point about using flashcards. Now, what I'll do is I'll work my way through, all the way through, so I've got 37 here. And that'll be done. So usually the first time through, it'll take me it can take up to an hour the first time through. See, what I do, every morning I go for a walk for about half an hour to an hour. And I've got an app on my phone where I can use this program. And as I'm walking, I just do the flashcards. So the first time usually takes about an hour. And the second time usually takes about 10 minutes. The third time about 5 minutes. By about the fourth and fifth time, I can usually get through the whole lot in less than 5 minutes. So what occurs, by the time I get to week 11, of which there's usually about 10 or 11 topics, I can get through all of my flashcards in 1 hour. And I'm doing this from week 1 through to week 11, just building my knowledge for each of the units. By the time I get to the exam, it's a piece of piddle. I've in 2 subjects that I got 100% on, which were both human resources and marketing management. They're all theory-based subjects. But when I got to the exam and the question was there, I could pull up every bit of the theory, all the terms, all the definitions, all the concepts. No one, in both those subjects, I'm the first student to have got 100% in both those subjects, as far as I understand. Certainly that's what the lecturers told me. And this is how I did it. It's using these flashcards. It's starting from week 1, and it's just going through them all the way, all the time, all the time, all the time. Now, when I get to, say, 2 weeks out from the exam, I might go through a set of flashcards, or I might go through a topic 3 times in a day. So that might be economics. I'll go through the 10 sets of flashcards, or the 10 topics, 3 times in that day. And I'll do that for 2 weeks prior to the exam. By the time it comes to the exam, it's so easy. Unfortunately, the one I got 82% on, I was still one of the highest, got the highest results for the exam. It was a multiple choice exam, and the questions were just weird and ambiguous and were not in the textbook, and that's a whole other story altogether. So look, enough said on that. This is the best system that I've used, and it works brilliantly, and if you want to do it, you'll kick ass in your exams. It's hard work though, I tell you. The first time going through, it's kind of painful, and you want to kill someone, but once you get through, by about the 3rd time, it's a breeze. So over to you guys. If you want to use it, great. But Quizlets is the program, and it's worked very well for me. anyhow, good luck with your studies, and I hope you get a high distinction. If you work hard and follow this, you've got every chance of doing it. Cheers.